Welcome, dear students, to the next video lecture, and we were discussing alcohol, ethers and phenols. So in the previous video lectures, we have discussed only about the general method of preparation or chemical and physical behavior related to alcohols and phenols. In today's class, we will discuss about the general method of preparation and chemical behavior or chemical properties related to ethers. Okay? So, first of all, we will see some general method of preparations. And in general method of preparation, we will see a reaction which we have seen earlier. It's similar, but this time we will get a different result. Okay? And regarding, before going to this reaction, I would like to tell you all of you that whenever you comment on the video lectures and you want to ask any doubts, then please be specific about which reaction you are talking about. Okay? Because in most of the reactions are quite similar. They have similar reagents. So referring to the particular reaction would make it easier for me to answer your doubts. Okay? So let's see. We discussed a reaction like this, that if an alcohol is heated in presence of acid, that means 443 kelvins, we get alkene, dehydration of, we named it dehydration of alcohol. Okay? Now we will see that if you have seen this reaction, now we just change the reaction condition. Okay? We will change the reaction condition. Let's take (413 Kelvin). Now what we will see, we will see that the product has changed. Okay? Just by reducing the temperature to somewhat around 30 degrees centigrades, we get another product. We get an ether. This is ether, ROR. Okay? Ether is like, since alcohol was like ROH, this was our alcohol, and when one H is replaced by another R, then this is our ether. Okay? So we get a ether instead of, alkene. That means instead of elimination, a substitution takes place. And we will see that how this substitution takes place in a reaction. That means mechanism. Okay? You can even go for the mechanism that we, that I used in the reaction. So if you want to write that mechanism, you just have to do, just change everything with CH3CH2. Just make it CH3CH2 and you will get mechanism for the reaction that we discussed. Okay? You can keep it CH3 also. It's up to you. Okay? The thing is that the process remains the same. Okay, I will discuss this process in detail. Let me change it to, because since I discussed about ethanol, so I will talk about the mechanism taking ethanol as the example. and in the final step so the mechanism remains the same, okay? It does not change up that much. Okay, so what happens? Just like the dehydration in alcohols, the first step is very similar. Same thing happens. The alcohol gets protonated. Okay, in the first step we get a protonated alcohol, and we saw in our general method of in our chemical behavior of alcohols that after this step an elimination takes place. Okay, but here what will happen, another alcohol molecule from the solution will behave as a nucleophile and will attack actually just the adjacent carbon, this carbon. Okay, and why it will attack this carbon? Because once this this shared electron will be taken by oxygen, oxygen will take this electron and leave as water. Okay, it will leave as water, and if you cut this part out, if I take this part out, then carbon will get a positive charge on it. So the lone pair on the oxygen in alcohol will behave as a nucleophile and attack this point. Okay, so we get something like this. Okay, we will get this one. There will be a positive charge on the oxygen since it's trivalent here. And what will happen in the next step? In the next step, the hydrogen will donate its pair of electron and it will it will get released as proton. So what we see, just like the dehydration of alcohol which give rise to alkene, what happens here? The hydrogen that we use in the first step has been released in the final step or the last step. That means the reaction is, in this reaction also, it is acid catalyzed reaction. That means acid is just catalyzing this reaction. Okay, it has been used as catalyst. Now in most of the reactions, what we did, we discussed after the mechanism, we discussed that what kind of alcohols can give better product. Okay, so in this reaction, okay, in the general method of preparation for ether, you have to keep in mind that this reaction is good for 1 degree ethers. 1 degree ether, so you can say that 1 degree alcohols undergo this reaction easily. 1 degree alcohols, okay, they will give substitution product. That means they will give corresponding ether. Okay, but 2 degree and 3 degree alcohols do not give this reaction. Okay, they do not produce the corresponding ether, because in case of 2 degree and 3 degree alcohols, elimination will take place. Okay, that means primarily they will form alkenes. Okay, and we have seen in the dehydration reaction with alcohol that as soon as we switch to 2 degree or 3 degree alcohol, in case of 3 degree alcohol we used H3PO4 and only 25% concentration of H3PO4 was sufficient to dehydrate the alcohol. In case of 2 degree alcohol, it was 85% H3PO4, but in case of 1 degree alcohol, we needed concentrated sulfuric acid and 443 kelvins of temperature. Okay, so we saw that for 3 degree alcohols, the dehydration takes place easily, it's convenient, okay? It takes less energy, less intense reaction conditions, and you know, even the concentration of reagent is also gets reduced, or we need a milder reagent will work, okay, or milder catalyst will work for 2 and 3 degree alcohols. So in 2-3 degree alcohols, what will happen? Elimination will take place and we will get alkenes and not ethers. Now we will discuss a named reaction, and the reaction is called Williamson synthesis. Since it's a named reaction, this reaction is very important, okay, because it's a named reaction. We know that named reactions are important. So what happens in Williamson synthesis? Sodium alkoxide reacts with any alkyl halide, okay, they can be different or they can be same, and finally we get an ether, okay, we get an ether, okay. Now in this reaction follows SN2 mechanism. SN2 mechanism. That means what will happen? This part will give us a nucleophile RO negative, or I can write it like this. It will look better if I write it like this. It will give us a OR negative, that means alkoxide ion, which is highly nucleophilic, it's highly basic. We discussed in the acidity of alcohol that alkoxide ions are more basic than hydroxide ions, okay, so they are highly basic, and at the same time, since their basicity is high, so is their nucleophilicity, because basicity and nucleophilicity in most of the cases they are the same thing, okay. And they will do what? Now the thing is, you know, just the previous chapter, that means haloalkanes and haloaryls, we have seen that in alkyl halides, a backside in SN2 mechanism, a backside attack will occur at the carbon which is attached to the halogen. The nucleoside will do what? It will attack from the backside and we will get the final product, okay. When we used KOH, we got, you know, OH here because the nucleophile was OH. Now since the nucleophile is OR negative, so instead of OH we will get OR 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 dash, okay. So now the question is that what kind of reaction will take place, and what are, you know, what are the precautions, or how changing or switching the, you know, alkoxide part or alkyl halide part will change our reaction, because this reaction is a bit tricky. It's easy, it's not that difficult, but it's tricky. Just keep in mind that the mechanism is SN2, okay. So mechanism is SN2. Now keeping that in mind, that our mechanism is SN2, we will see two reactions, okay. In first case, what we will do, we will take a 3 degree alkoxide ion and we will take a 1 degree alkyl halide. So what we will get? We will get a product like this, okay. ROR dash R and R dash. Okay, so we will get this product. But now that means this nucleophile will attack the carbon from the back side, bromine will be replaced. Okay, bromine will leave and we'll get this product. Now let's do one thing, let's switch the alkyl parts. That means let's take alkoxide to be 1 degree and our alkyl halide part to be a 3 degree. Okay, so let me write it clearly so that you do not get confused between the two reactions. Okay, so what I will do now, I will make it a 1 degree alkoxide and I will change alkyl halide to 3 degree. Okay, so we have actually what we did, we switched the alkyl parts and now we want to know what is the product. Okay, so a normal intuitive answer could be that it will also produce the same ether, but it's not like that. What happens here, just go back to what you have studied. SN2, the mechanism is SN2. So what happens in SN2? We have seen in the last chapter that in SN2 mechanism, since a backside attack of the nucleophile takes place, if the carbon to which the bromine is connected or the halogen is connected, if this carbon is overcrowded, okay, or if there is a steric hindrance around the carbon, since this carbon is surrounded by 3 bulky methyl groups, okay, so it makes difficult for the nucleophile to enter from the backside. These methyl groups will do what? They will create a barrier. In this reaction, instead of methyl to carbon, 3 hydrogens are connected. So since there are hydrogen atoms and they are smaller in size, they cannot restrict the movement of nucleophile to the extent to which methyl groups can hinder. Okay, methyl groups can produce a better shield because they are bulkier in the size. So since the mechanism was SN2, so we know that this substitution is difficult. Okay, now let's compare that. We have seen that whenever there is a scope of SN2 substitution in alkyl halides, okay, there was a possibility that even an elimination can take place. Okay, because they have similar conditions. Same reagents can give rise to a product which is nucleophilic substitution and can give rise to a product which is related to elimination of the alpha beta elimination of the alkyl halide. So now the thing is, in this reaction we know that alkoxide ions are highly basic. Okay, they are highly basic, and we have seen that in SN2 reactions the backside attack is not possible. So what can happen? Or what will happen? This alkoxide ion will basically act as a base. Instead of acting as a nucleophile, it will act as a base. And when it will act as a base, what it will do? It will remove a hydrogen from any of the beta carbon. Okay, from any of the beta carbon. This carbon is connected to 3 beta carbons. So from any beta carbon we can, or we will do what? Our base will do what? It will take out 1 electron, and in the next phase what will happen? The shifting will take place and bromine will leave and elimination will take place. So finally what we will get? So we will get a elimination product like this. It doesn't matter, you place a double bond here, that means make this CH2 double bond and CH3. It's the same product. If you write down the IUPAC name, you know, instead of writing double bond on this carbon, you can write it this way also. It's the same thing. Okay, writing IUPAC name will give you a better idea that you place double bond on any of the carbon, you will get the same product. It's the same product basically. Okay, so what we see that in Williamson synthesis, in order to get ether as a product, we must take alkyl halide part to be 1 degree and the alkoxide part to be a 3 degree carbon. Okay, it will be the best suited condition for Williamson synthesis. Okay, now this reaction can also be used. Okay, this reaction can also be used for the preparation of aryl ethers, where you can take phenoxide and alkyl halide substitution will take place. Okay, we will see those questions when we will be discussing the exercise questions and previous year questions. We will discuss in a separate video lecture. So now we will discuss some other reactions also related to the chemical behavior of ethers. Okay, so this was the general method of preparation for ethers. We had two reactions, one from alcohols and then from the alkoxide ion by using Williamson synthesis. Okay, so now we will discuss chemical behavior. So in chemical behavior, when reacts with HX, it will give Rx plus ROH. Okay, that means one oxygen will be attached with this hydrogen and R will connect to this X, and the next step what will happen, this ROH will again react with HX molecule and we will get Rx. So the final product is alkyl halide. That means an ether will produce a alkyl halide. Okay, in this way you can use some examples where you can take methoxymethane or ethoxyethane and can practice this reaction. You just have to keep in mind that for HX, this is the order with which it can take place. That means it is faster with hydroiodic acid and slower with hydrobromic acid and slowest in hydrochloric acid. So you can use it for aryl halides also. Now, so this is order related to the acidic part. Now we will see that changes, how things changes if we change this ether part. Okay, so we will basically discuss about some reactions which is related to ethers which are not symmetric in nature. Okay, which are not symmetric, unsymmetric ethers. Like suppose if we have a molecule suppose this is our reaction. Okay, now the question is, Br will, replace or will make a substitution reaction here, and what it will do, it will form an alcohol, and it will form a alkyl halide or haloalkene. So we have two options over here, and those options are, we can make this part as alcohol. If we make this part as alcohol, we will get something like this. And if this part gets converted to alcohol, then this part will get converted to, this part will get converted to alkyl halide. Okay. Or what can happen? This part can produce an alkyl halide, and it can produce an alcohol. That means 1 degree part will produce an alcohol, and 3 degree part will produce an alkyl halide. Okay. So now the question is, what will happen? Okay, what will happen? So to know what will be the product, okay, we will just see that how the reaction takes place actually. So what happens? This is our OH, it has a lone pair, and HX is something like this. So this H will get added here, okay, and we will get this one plus X negative. Okay, so we'll get this, and in the next step what will happen? The water will be removed. Okay, in the next step and the water will leave, and we will get okay. So this is our reaction, and you can see that X is approaching this molecule from the back side. Okay, that means we see that what we observe, that that alkyl halide should form, which is more substituted. Okay, because you see that halogen, this halogen is, oh, it's leaking, there is a leakage marker, let me fix it. Okay, so what is happening, this halogen will get connected to this carbon. Okay, and now you see, as soon as this water molecule leaves, it will create a positive charge. That means a carbocation in this step. Okay, it will leave a carbocation intermediate. Okay, now what kind of carbocations are more stable? Okay, so we know that 3 degree carbocations are more stable. So in this reaction, which part contains 3 degree carbocation? This part contains 3 degree carbocation, and this is 1 degree carbocation. So obviously 3 degree carbocation part will produce the alkyl halide part, and the 1 degree part will produce alcohol, okay, because it will form 3 degree part will form a better carbocation, more stable carbocation, okay. So we get more substituted alkyl halides. Got it? Now suppose we take one another reaction. It's a very interesting reaction. We will take anisole. Anisole, okay. So it could be HI, you know, we can take it as HI. So in this reaction, what happens? You know, the phenol, this ring part is not getting connected to iodine, and CH3 is getting connected to, you know, the iodine part, and the reason is that this oxygen is connected to carbon from both sides, but one carbon belongs to the benzene ring and another carbon belongs to the, you know, CH3, okay, and the carbon which is connected to, you know, CH3 is actually sp3 hybridized, and the phenyl part, that means the benzene ring part, this carbon is actually a sp2 hybridized carbon, okay. So this bond has a partial double bond character, okay. Since there will be a resonance, and due to resonance we will see that this bond has a partial double bond character, so it is difficult to break. It has a more, you know, bond dissociation energy, so as a result this bond won't break, and instead we'll get, you know, this one. Now if I change this molecule a bit, I want you to comment, okay, or just you know, take this question as you know, homework or a simple quiz question. And you will have to tell me that what is the product, what will be the product of this reaction, okay. I have changed the molecule a little bit. In anisole, what we have, the oxygen was directly connected to the benzene ring, and this time, you know, I have taken a benzyl carbon and connected it to the oxygen, and you know, you have a benzyl carbon in this reaction. So that's it, go for it. The intermediate is carbocation, and you have option of 1 degree and benzyl intermediates. That means the carbocation can be a benzyl carbocation or a 1 degree carbocation. So I guess you can choose a better carbocation yourself. You know which one is a better carbocation. Now the last part of this chapter is about electrophilic substitution. Electrophilic substitution, that means since it's an electrophilic substitution, obviously it is related to our aryl ethers, okay, because we know that electrophilic substitution takes place in aryl molecules easily, they are electron rich. So first of all, the thing is that OR is a ortho para directive group. So since since OP directive group, OR is a OP directive group, obviously what it will do, it will direct the incoming electrophile to the ortho or para position. So let's see a simple reaction. Suppose anisole, and if it reacts with CH3Cl in presence of AlCl3, Friedel-Crafts alkylation, so alkyl part is the carbocation. Ortho-para directive, so we will get two isomers, one ortho isomer and one para isomer. Para isomer is the major product. So I don't think I should discuss electrophilic substitution in detail, because we have discussed electrophilic substitution in detailed, we analyzed these reactions in detail in previous video lectures. Only in the previous chapter, haloalkanes and haloarenes, we discussed it in complete detail. So I hope knowing the directivity of the substituent group makes it very easy to predict the product and to pick which one will be major product. I told you that since para isomers are, since they are symmetric and the two groups are, at the maximum possible distance, so this is a better product, so it will be the major product in all the cases. In most of the ortho-para substitution, we see that para isomers are the major product. Okay, so just you have a list of electrophilic reagents. I gave you the list which contains different kind of reagents which can produce different kind of electrophiles. Like in nitration, we use nitric acid in presence of sulfuric acid, which produces nitrate or nitro electrophile NO2 positive. So what will happen if I take nitric acid, sulfuric acid, then instead of CH3, NO2 will be added. That's it. Okay, the electrophile will change, but the positions will not change. They will go to the same relative position to the ether, to the etheric group or alkoxide group, because alkoxide groups are ortho-para directive in nature. Okay, so in this chapter we have a theoretical part, which is industrial preparation of methanol and ethanol. Okay, you know that these are very useful chemicals. Ethanol is a very useful chemical. Okay, ethyl alcohol, and I'm not talking about the common use that most of the people use it. Most of the people use it as those who can understand Assamese will understand that pagla pani, it's holy water. Eto khai lole manuhe ekdom pagla hoy jay na, log dimag फिर जाता है ना. That is ethyl alcohol, जो लॉकडाउन के बाद जिसके लिए लंबी लंबी कतारें लगी, लंबी लंबी लाइनें लगी दिल्ली में, वाइन शॉप्स खुलते ही. सो दैट इज द ethyl alcohol actually. But actually ethyl alcohol is not just used as a consumable item. ये सिर्फ पीने के लिए इस्तेमाल नहीं होता, ये बहुत अच्छा इंडस्ट्रियल केमिकल है. इट्स अ वेरी गुड सॉल्वेंट. ओके, वुड बार्निश. इसके अलावा अभी तो हम इस अल्कोहल का इस्तेमाल या आइसोप्रोपाइल अल्कोहल का इस्तेमाल आपने चारों तरफ देखा होगा कि अभी तो अल्कोहल तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया अभी हमारे चारों तरफ. वी यूज इट एज अ सैनिटाइजर. ओके, हैंड सैनिटाइजर. 70% solution of isopropyl alcohol is a sanitizer, and it's very effective against, particularly very effective against viruses. Okay, because what it does, it melts the outer fatty layer of the virus. Okay, so isopropyl alcohol, ethanol are used as sanitizers nowadays. So this is one use of alcohol. And we have a industrial chemical that is called distilled alcohol, or which is used as varnish or distilled spirit. Okay, so you can get those spirits on hardware shops. It is used for wood varnish as solvent. So sometimes you must have heard in news that 50 लोगों की जहरीली शराब पीने से मौत. Okay, and sometimes breaking news are there. So what happens actually, the industrial alcohol is diluted in very small proportion. Methanol is mixed with it. Okay, methanol is mixed with it, and methanol we cannot consume this alcohol. Okay, this is poisonous to us. Okay, it can be dangerous. Higher concentration of methanol can lead to death of the person, or it can burn the cornea in our eyes, so it can make the person blind. So actually that is the jahrili sharab actually. So what they do, since the industrial spirits are very cheap, so they buy it and they just they reduce the concentration of the spirit by diluting it. They dilute it, mix local liquor with it, and they sell it. So it's illegal, and government purposefully mixes methanol in this solution so that people cannot use it to drink. Okay, now there is another use of ethyl alcohol, that in developed countries like Japan, in Europe, alcohol is mixed with gasoline in 60-40 proportion, and the mixture is called power alcohol. Okay, power alcohol. So it is environment friendly also. It's less, it's very good for the environment. Okay, and it's cost effective also. So for country like us, we have a large production of sugar canes. We are the biggest manufacturers of sugar. So we produce a large volume of molasses is produced in our industries. So these molasses, I will give you the lecture notes where you will see that we can produce alcohol from the molasses. Okay, so molasses is a byproduct in the manufacturing of sugar. So this molasses can be used to produce alcohol. Okay, so using this alcohol as a fuel, okay, can boost our economy. So these are the various uses of alcohol. So I suggest you to go through all the topics from NCERT book. Okay, refer to your textbook, and I will discuss some questions related to alcohol, ether and phenol, the exercise questions as well as questions from previous year examinations. I will discuss them in next videos. Okay, and you will get some time to go through all these videos related to alcohol, ether and phenol, so that you can practice your reactions. Okay, if you practice your reactions, you will understand when I'll solve exercise problem. And one more thing, that I understand that most of you are having problem with organic chemistry syllabus, as you didn't studied well in class 11. But I suggest you one thing. The prime thing is that you are reluctant, you don't want to practice it. Organic chemistry is all about how much you practice. Okay, sometimes the reactions may look difficult, but they are not that difficult. I am giving you a very easy option. Okay, if you don't understand the mechanism parts, we are working on it. We will try to make some videos so that you can understand, so that we can explain the basic part behind those mechanisms, so that you can understand it in detail. But as far as the reaction is concerned, there's only one way to learn these reactions, and that is all the reaction, each reaction that I wrote on the board, and all these reactions are in NCERT book. Just take the reaction and write it down 10 times. Okay, just you just write it down 10 times. Okay, each reaction 10 times, 12 times, 15 times. There is no shortcut to hard work. Okay, there is a कहावत in Sanskrit, उद्यमेन हि सिद्ध्यन्ति कार्याणि न मनोरथै न हि सुप्तस्य सिंहस्य प्रवश्यन्ति मुखे मृगाः. ओके, दैट मीन्स अगर शेर सोया हुआ रहे, शेर बहुत ताकतवर होता है, लेकिन अगर शेर सोया हुआ रहे, इफ द लायन इज स्लीपिंग, हिरन, डियर होता है ना, डियर, वो या जो लायन का शिकार है, वो क्या शेर के मुंह में खुद ब खुद आ जाएगा? नहीं. कोई कितना ही पावरफुल क्यों ना हो, इट डजंट मैटर हाउ पावरफुल यू आर, यू हैव टू वर्क टू गेट समथिंग. ओके, यू हैव टू वर्क हार्ड. सोए सोए आपको कुछ नहीं मिल सकता है. आप ये एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकते कि कोई ऐसा कुछ ट्रिक है जिससे आप सारा रिएक्शन या सारा क्वेश्चन यू आसानी से सॉल्व कर पाए. होते हैं कॉन्सेप्शंस, होते हैं ट्रिक्स, होते हैं, बट कोई भी ट्रिक या कॉन्सेप्शन सिर्फ तभी काम करता है जब आप उसे प्रैक्टिस करें. अगर आप प्रैक्टिस नहीं करेंगे तो कोई भी ट्रिक आपके दिमाग में टिकेगा ही नहीं, वो यहाँ पे रहेगा ही नहीं, आप भूल जाओगे. ओके, सो प्रैक्टिस अ लॉट as much as you can. There is a lockdown going on, so you have all the time, no college, no tuitions, no coaching classes, so you have all the time, you are staying at home, so practice as much as you can. And for doubts, we are always there for you, so for any doubts you can directly contact us or just drop a comment. And I gave you a question, so do comment on the product of that reaction. Okay, thank you.